Put on my lederhosen. Das is 7 o'clock. It is. Exactly. I'm working with the theme here. We must bring this to order. So at 7 o'clock, we already did the pledge and went into closed session earlier. So we can just move right into the communications or public comment. So if anybody wants to address the board directly, now is your chance. Seeing nobody, we'll move on to the student presentations. So do we have our students here? Come on up. Good evening.
Hello, I'm Aaron Diaz, and I've been going to the Bay all my life. I play football, and I also run track here at the Bay. And yeah, like I said, I've been going to the Bay all my life. And,
Excellent.
It's a little bit about me. All right, so last week, recently, for our football team, we obviously made the playoffs we were 3-5 overall. It was the first time we made playoffs since 2003. That was when we were an 11-man team, and then we shrunk down to an 8-man team, which was the first time we have ever done that in 8-man history. So that's pretty exciting. And yeah, obviously the outcome is not what we wanted to, but still something to be really proud of. Have our guys step up, play a pretty hard team, play a pretty decent team. We've been playing them for a long time, but can't win every single game.
Well, we're all proud of you, so
Yeah.
great job.
Represented the school very well.
All right. Speaking of football, obviously a big thing is with homecoming, and with homecoming, I just learned that our dance that we had recently was probably one of the biggest turnouts that we've had, since not a lot of kids tend to want to go to the dance. They sometimes think it's maybe boring sometimes, but we did have a lot of kids show up, so that's very awesome to hear. And also, since a lot of our athletics are coming to, our fall sports are coming to a close, we do have our banquet coming up. Pretty sure that's next week around 6 o'clock to help honor our student athletes, all the hard work they put in, all the effort they put into their sport, and obviously honor seniors who will probably never ever play their sport ever again. So it'll be a good way to honor them, as well as to help bring more awareness, especially for the younger folks, that are still trying out new things, and it's also very exciting. And
Great job.
All right. Thank you.
Great job.
Good
Absolutely.
update.
Great season, and we appreciate all of your hard work and dedication to your, to your sport and to the school.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lauren Schnobel. I've talked to a lot of you before, but I am just finishing up volleyball season. That went really well for our team. We had good team chemistry and such. We didn't go very far in the playoffs, but we did. We were in the playoffs still. Yes. Thank you. And then we have basketball season is going to start up here in a few weeks. Everyone's pretty looking forward to that. The girls basketball program just had a meeting this evening, kind of preparing for the season and filling everyone in on how everything's going to work, and it should be a very good year. We hope to make it far in the playoffs like we did last year. That was very fun. And then this Wednesday, actually, we have our student council biannual blood drive. We're very excited for that. We're very prepared. We have 46 slots signed up so far, which is really great. Our goal this year is 45 units of blood donated, which of course we'll have walk-ins too, and then some people will not be able to donate, so we are hoping to meet our goal. It increases every year, so that should be good. The theme is like a Halloween theme because it's so close. So we're all going to dress up, and if you've walked along the halls, we have advertisements up. We're really trying to do that. We're partnering with Versity to do it. They're the people who host it every year. So that should be very exciting. So if anyone wants to donate blood, you can walk in. It's running from 8:30 to 1:30. And appointment slots are pretty full, but if you come in after lunch, the early afternoon, you can donate blood. So that is what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Also recently, we also had our outdoor ed trip for the sixth graders, and then we had some of the upperclassmen go and attend that trip as counselors as well. That was another roaring success this year. Personally, I can say when we got back from the trip, a lot of the sixth graders that I had in my cabin and in my activity groups, we were still connecting. They would say, "Hi, Avery," in the hallways and whatnot. So it was a great experience overall. I'm really looking forward to seeing this tradition continued in the school, and I'm really glad to say that we can do that at our district as well. It's an amazing opportunity. And then just another side thing, I mentioned at the last meeting I was a part of the tennis team, and that season has come to a close. But one of the big successes that we have there is that one of the girls on our team, our one singles player, she actually made it to state, and she placed 4th. So if you didn't hear that, it's big news. She doesn't attend the Bay, but she is part of our co-op with Bigfoot. So that's really great news, and still, yeah. Really excited. And her name is Annabelle Parker, I believe is her last name. But so that's another exciting thing. And that's all I have.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very well done.
Good evening. I'm Michael Peck. It's nice to see a lot of familiar faces up here. So just last Thursday, we had our first playoff game for soccer. We were the 9th seed, which is one of the highest seeds we've been in the past few years. This was my first year playing soccer, and just the immediate connection I felt with all of my teammates, the really sense of family that I felt on that soccer team, I feel was really important to our success, and I would hope to bring that to the other sports such as basketball. Speaking of basketball, that is starting in 2 weeks. We have our preseason tournament on November 8th in the Dells, and then we have our first practice on November 17th. I know last year we didn't have a very winning record, about 5-25. So I think we can do a lot better. Again, with that sense of family, I've been playing with these guys all my life, and I feel like this real connection I have with them is going to help us go far. And piggybacking off of Avery, I think outdoor ed is probably one of the most memorable things that I did in all of my schooling career. I mean, I still remember all of my counselors' names. I remember who's in my cabin. And I think it really provides structure for these kids. They don't see the high schoolers as older and scary people, but as other students in their building that they can be friends with and talk to.
Very cool.
That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job.
Great story.
as Ed said, we appreciate everything you told us tonight, but also how you represent the school. So you do a great job, being part of Williams Bay community. So thank you. You guys have anything you want to add?
No.
Perfect. Yes.
Yeah, great job.
And with that, we'll move on to student representatives, which we just did. But is there anything else that we want to add beyond that as far as student reps? Okay. District Administrator, Dr. White.
Just so people know, our next meeting on November 10th, we will move into the boardroom, so we leave space for our students participate in the musical. So it will not be recorded, so just whether we're aware of that. Also, myself, Mr. Colosimo, and Mr. Lothian will be traveling to China. We'll be departing on Friday, arriving in Shanghai, China on Saturday night. So it's a very long flight. We are attending an international forum for educational leaders. The focus of the conference is project-based learning and artificial intelligence, AI. So certainly we'll get to interact with people from China, from the United States, and from other parts of the world. Should be a great opportunity to learn about how education is being conducted in other parts of the world, and hopefully maybe make some connections that allow us to continue to expand our offerings and opportunities for our kids. We'll be there all next week, and then returning on Saturday, which I believe is the 8th. So another long flight back. Hopefully TSA keeps themselves going and we don't have any issues there, and hopefully we stay out of trouble. But we are anticipating having a little bit of fun. The conference starts on Monday, so we're going to do a little bit of sightseeing on Sunday. The cost of Saturday and Sunday we're covering out of our own pockets. Mr. Lothian's paying for his entire trip by himself. And then the conference pays for basically Monday through Friday morning, and then we'll pay for our own hotel Friday night and for some sightseeing Friday afternoon. So the cost of the district is really about $4,000. Which is what is the airline flights for Mr. Colosimo and myself. But when we hosted last year with the Chinese student exchange students, we built a healthy budget to provide these kind of opportunities for students and staff in the future. So we had about $10,000 left over from that budget to help offset the cost of these things. So it should be a good opportunity. And you have to go out there and experience things and see what you can bring back.
Thank you. Any questions for Dr.?
I did have a question. I know you're going to be gone, and I know the time you're going to be gone. So which of your administrative team will be the head administrator the week that you're gone? I would assume I know, but I just wanted to ask. And since our board chair is gone, which leaves me as the highest person on the board while they're gone, if there's something that comes up that Bill would normally talk to Jack about, you'll call me. Yeah. Is that correct?
And we'll be checking email, so I'm certainly
well I know, but to make
Dr. Bond
local decisions, if there are any that need, I just wanted to check. Yeah. I'm in town till Friday morning next week.
And we'll be sleeping while you guys are awake and vice versa, so that communication is going to be delayed.
Carolyn just wants to have a plan in place in case you don't come back.
Right. Yes, so thank you. That's a good question, and for people to know who's acting administrator or superintendent when I'm gone. It'll be Dr. Bond. But we have a team, and they all work closely together,
I know.
And we'll be good.
But the buck stops there, so I figured it was Dr. Bond.
It's good to go over the plan, though, just so everyone's on the same page. Any other questions for Dr. White? All right, moving on to Hank, Athletic Director and Boosters.
Notes as presented, and obviously they said pretty much most of everything that I have on my sheet here. I do just want to bring up the one fall sport they did not say is cross country. We had 3 students that were in cross country or on the cross country team, and we had one, Kate Hernandez, who was how close? 15 seconds from going to state at sectional meet. So just missed that one, but all 3 of the kids represented as well as everyone behind me, so it was nice to see. The last thing I have for you, just so you know, we've been talking about it, Arbiter, who brought out our school, who did all the scheduling and calendars and websites and all that. Well, Trailways Conference decided to move in a different direction from Arbiter. was not easy, was not very well liked by a lot of ADs in the state, and especially our conference. The conference unanimously, with the superintendents, decided to go with bound instead. Unfortunately, this will be another change for us, but it will not happen until after this school year, so it'll be the summer. I can start prepping. They're going to allow us to jump on now and start working on things, so we can at least get a head start on it, but it is a lot of new change again, but hopefully this is what we stay with for a while now. But it is another change. Any questions for me?
Yeah, tell us about the sportsmanship award that our athletic program received.
Sorry about that. I thought we talked about it last time, so I'll sit. So WIA does the Award of Excellence, I'm guessing you mean?
Pardon?
The Award of Excellence?
Yes.
Okay. So WIA each year gives out the Award of Excellence for the top athletic departments, along with the kids, the families. The way they read off, they salute 39 schools this year fulfilling criteria to be named the recipients of the award. It goes for sportsmanship, ethics, integrity, leadership, character, and administrative accomplishments. So it's the second year in a row we've won that award. A lot of paperwork behind the scenes, but it's also a lot of what our kids do and our families do in the stands and at games and things like that. So it's something we are proud of. And us, Elkhorn, and I think Delavan were the only ones around this area that received that award. But I'd like to say for our athletic leadership team, we've talked about it, we've gone over it, and why we should be proud that we won it. So it's something that we do have again. So
Congratulations.
Great news.
Congratulations.
thank you.
Any other questions? No. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Emily?
Good evening.
Hello.
Notes as presented, and our student reps did an excellent job this evening. Thank you. I do want to make sure we point out the transcripted credit cost savings for our students. If you didn't notice that, that's great news for our school and our students. And shout outs to Durkin, Mr. White, Miss Evans, and Miss Soskich for completing appropriate coursework and certifications to ensure these alignment and transcripted credits that are available. So that's awesome, super exciting. The other piece I want to highlight, Avery and Michael pointed out the significance of our outdoor education program. Our Driven leadership team has also taken the initiative to begin a mentor-mentee program with our high school and middle school. It's been something that parents have been bringing up now since I started. And we're finally in a position where we're looking to have more of that happening besides outdoor ed and some monthly meetings. So that's exciting.
Excellent.
Yeah. Any questions for me? No. Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Allie?
Good evening. Notes as presented, and just a little bit more about the Williams Bay Student Council that is sponsoring the food drive this month. Student Council and all the students and community raised, we have 647 items to give to the Elkhorn Area Food Pantry. We plan to take the Student Council over there next Wednesday, where I will give them a tour of the pantry so they can see all the ins and outs and behind the scenes of how you help support your community.
Nice.
So looking forward to that. Any questions?
Nope. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Chris?
Good evening. Notes as presented, one highlight. This past week, we were able to get through our RDA PCSA, that stands for Reading Drives Achievement Procedural Compliance Assessment. Others can call it the Results Driven Assessment, which is the procedural compliance assessment that we do through DPI. We had a chance to get through that this past week. It was fairly successful. There's a couple of changes that we need to make to our IEPs, which we'll do as we move forward. But overall, we've done a great job with our procedural compliance. Any additional questions?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then are there any reports from the board?
Nope.
Hearing none, we can move on to action items. I'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All right, is there any discussion? All right. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, and then moving on to personnel transactions. Dr. White, you want to go over that?
We have one recommendation that is for Adam Leckelt for junior varsity boys basketball coach. Adam is a graduate of Williams Bay, was a star basketball player when he was here, played some college basketball, has been back in the area working, tutoring kids on basketball and teaching them basic skills and those things. We're very excited for him to join the coaching staff.
I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the personnel transactions listed on the October 27, 2025 personnel transaction sheet.
Second.
All right, any discussion? It's good to have a former player come back home and coach.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, moving on to the budget. Oh,
Mark motioned, Ed seconded.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's good. It was,
There was another person that should be on there, but No, we approved her last month, the cheer dance coach, so I know we did that previously.
yes. And the vote was 5-0. All right, moving on to the approval of the budget. I'm going to hand that down to you guys so you can go over some of the numbers.
And I'm going to hand it over to Mrs. Frederick to go over the budget.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, I'm just getting to the right page here. Okay, so the budget you have in front of you, let me zoom in, is, as Ms. Nelson said, it is not a balanced budget based off of $100,000 that we have assigned in fund balance from the 24-25 school year. So because we're using that fund balance, which was our locker room project, that is why the revenues do not equal the expenditures, but that's how you use fund balance, is having that offset. It is a $11.6 million tax levy. I'm sorry. $10.28 million tax levy. I'm looking in the wrong column. So this is the first levy increase that we will have for operations since the 2021 school year. $100,000 of that $270,000 increase will be covered from net new construction. So really it's about $170,000 spread amongst our taxpayers for this increase. This still is less than the $1.5 million that we were authorized to increase our levy by from our referendum. So we are leaving about excuse me. Thank you. $250,000 back in the taxpayers' hands, not using that authority that was given to us. But again, to not raise taxes in 6 years for operation, I think this is a relatively nominal increase given the inflation that has increased over those years. I do still think, like I said, it's within our authority. The mill rate will still drop from $4.50 to $4.43. So I think it is a reasonable increase. In our projections for next year, we do not anticipate increasing the levy next year for the third year of our referendum. So this is just an opportunity to, again, remain within that authority, not use the full authority, but still keep up with the inflation, costs of our wages and insurance package. We did give a 2.95% cost of living increase, which is not any more than CPI. And our insurance went up 9.5% for health insurance this year, which are the two major increases. It's also important to note that this includes additional staff. We did need to add a third section of 4K this year, so that included another teacher and an aide in that classroom, as well as us needing an additional special ed teacher to meet the demand of our students. So again, I think that the small levy increase, again, spread against 5 municipalities here, with a decrease in our mill rate, still makes that a reasonable budget and appropriate spending for adding that amount of staff and that amount of additional costs to the district. So I guess I'll talk about the levy next, but do you have any questions about the budget specifically.
I mean, that's basically what we expected after all of our meetings we've had on this throughout the year, so there's no new shockers. Anybody have any questions? All seems straightforward. So if you want to move on, or, well, we have to have a motion to approve the budget, so.
I would move to approve, I move to adopt the 25-26 annual budget as presented.
I'll second.
All right, any further discussion? Thank you very much for all the hard work throughout the year, Jennifer. Really appreciate it. With that, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, then we'll move on to the levy.
So the tax levy, like I said, gets split up against 5 municipalities. The Village of Williams Bay will see a 1.37% increase. Town of Delavan will see a 9.64% increase. Again, that's all based on the equalized value of that portion of our district. The levy will again be $10,281,532, resulting in that mill rate of $4.50. Our general fund mill rate is decreasing. The referendum approved debt service, which is our Fund 39, is also decreasing. And then our Fund 80 levy will remain the same impact on our community.
I'll once again entertain a motion.
Okay.
I resolve that a tax in the amount of $10,281,532 be levied on all property, real and personal, which is taxable under state tax laws within the boundaries of the Williams Bay School District for the 2025-2026 fiscal year, resulting in a tax rate of 0.00443.
Second.
All right. Any discussion?
No. Thank you again for all of your hard work.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Thank you again. With that, we'll move on to the parent transportation contract. So, Dr. White.
So you'll see a significant drop from last year to this year. That is by providing bus transportation to those students attending Faith Christian that live within our community. But we still have to provide transportation for those children living in Williams Bay going to St. Andrews. So henceforth, we're needing to issue parent transportation contracts in a total of $1,651.11, which is a lot less than the $25,000 plus than last year.
I move to approve the 2025-2026 parent transportation contracts for 3 private school students as required by law for a total cost of $1,651.11.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? All right. We have discussion and approval of additional support staff job share.
So we've discussed this on a previous occasion. It went before the Board Handbook Staff Relations Committee. We discussed this at length in that committee. And that would be Dr. Pyer and Mrs. Nelson, myself and Mrs. Frederick. The 2 board members on the committee recommended bringing him back to the board as a whole for a final vote without a recommendation. So they're asking the board just to have discussion and then consider whether someone would like to present that motion and approve it. Now, the board has always, in previous years, supported requests from staff. We've always tried to be, very supportive of our staff. Up front with this, there's no negative impact on the district. They allow the job share that's been requested. So I know that the principal has given the okay if the board chooses to support this, and there really would be no impact on student learning or the daily operation of the school. Now, we certainly recognize that there are positions that a job share would not be conducive for. So if the board does choose to add this to the handbook, there will be times where the administration would have to tell somebody, no, we cannot honor your request for a job share. So ultimately, it is the final call of the district administrator and the building administrator to say whether a job share is acceptable and appropriate under the circumstances that are being requested. So the policy as it's written for the handbook still leaves the final authority in the district's hands to say this works or doesn't work.
So those of you on the committee, do you want to share anything that you discussed during those committee meetings?
Well, that would be Carolyn and myself.
Okay.
So, we discussed very much as to what Dr. White just mentioned, kind of the pros and cons of this proposal. It seems like there may be limited or no real ramifications on student learning, which is kind of a big deal. Probably the most important part of this process and this consideration of this question. So we discussed a couple of pros and cons to the process. The cons would be that, it opens up that door to what if and what if and what if. And it just makes that process of adding another policy on the request of an individual and the potential of what that might mean down the road. That's kind of the negative that we discussed. Certainly there would be the potential of what if it doesn't work? What if there's problems with the internal negotiation of the hours or the coverage of the responsibilities? That seems like it could be accounted for, but again, there could be potential that raises other concerns that we just have never experienced before. This would be a new ask. Recently, I don't know if it's been done in the past, but not recently, it sounds like.
And for clarification, if we were to support this, are agreeing to provide that support staff could in fact be a job share.
Support staff.
Correct. The previous job sharing district was for certified teachers. I know working with the committee, they have chosen not to bring any recommendation or consideration for a job share amongst the certified staff. So this would just be in that section for support staff. And when we say support staff, it could be custodians, maintenance, it could be paraprofessionals, it could be administrative assistants. But again, when we look at some of those positions like paras in the special department, like certain positions within the administrative assistant, a job share just would not be appropriate. So the language is very narrowly applicable, to a very narrow group of people within that support staff.
Fair. And if this were approved, the ultimate decision would be left in the hands of the district administrator, correct?
And a building level administrator.
Okay.
The language reads it has to be approved by both.
Okay.
Do they have to approve it every year going forward, or once you approve it once, it's kind of, is this something you have to review every year? Because if it doesn't go well the first year, but they want to continue it, but the district doesn't, is this something where the district can say, you know what, we reviewed it, and this year we're not approving it?
The way it's written, we can say this isn't working at any time.
Okay.
So if we get to February and this just is not conducive to what we're trying to do, then we just say this is no longer working.
Okay.
But if someone were to do it this year, let's say we approve it, and you approve it, and it happens this year, do they have to re-ask and reapply in some sort of a form for the following year?
I would say no. Myself and the building principal would sit down and go, is this really working? And then we would ask, is this something that you want to continue if it's working for us? So ultimately, we want to make sure that the district maintains its right to say this is or is not conducive to our operations.
Okay.
And the current situation where this is being requested, is that currently supported by the building principal and the administrator?
Correct. It is.
So the committee was on the fence.
I
if
know.
that's want to
Yes.
know.
I know.
Yeah, we
Understandable.
weren't ready to tell you, yes, we're really in favor of doing this.
Completely understood.
But we wanted your input before we said no.
Right.
If
Personally,
that was
it feels like we're providing that for this narrow group, that job share is an option, subject to the approval of the district administrator and the principals.
Correct.
And I'm apt to support that.
So are we voting on the only the request that's been brought forward, or are we?
No, we're voting
Change
on
to the handbook.
You're voting on a new policy.
This is a change to the policy.
Okay.
You're voting on a policy to have this
It is-
in the handbook, so any support staff could say to their administrative team that they would like to job share whatever percentage they're talking about, I don't know.
But we will have specific language in the handbook of what's,
Correct, and that was
what positions are eligible for this.
Well, just support staff, so it's not going to be spelling out that it's not available to, say, example, maintenance staff, it's available. No, we don't do that, it's just support staff. I've given you the sample language. And again, it's not a policy, it's a section of the employee handbook.
Is everybody okay if I bring the motion?
Yeah, I mean, I agree that I like giving.
Well, I mean, and then we would have discussion, maybe
Right,
vote it down.
that's fine.
Would the next step be to bring the
Yeah,
motion?
bring a motion if you feel like you want.
All right. I move to approve adding a section titled Support Staff Job Share under Part 3 of the 2025-2026 Employee Handbook as presented.
I'll second it.
All right, any discussion? I would just like to say that I support it because for a couple of reasons, it gives more options to the teachers as far as making their job something that works for them and their family and their profession. But mainly, it doesn't affect student learning, as you
This
said.
isn't for the teachers.
Or
Yeah,
for
you
the
used the word
support staff,
teacher,
sorry.
yeah.
Well, staff members. It gives more options to staff members. I misspoke there, yes, it's for the staff members, support staff. But it gives more options to our employees, the ones that put their time with the students. Doesn't affect student learning, but if it does go and affect student learning, or something happens where it isn't good for the district, we still have the ability to set it right and to, not affect student learning in a negative way. So I agree that this is a good move to make.
Anything? No, we value your opinion.
Yes, speak now.
What?
We
Your
value your opinion, which is why we're pausing.
As long as the administrative team, building principal and superintendent, can say, this needs to stop, it's not working at any point after someone were to be granted the opportunity to do this, then I would be in favor of it, but just for support staff. Which is what we're talking about.
Right. And I just want to clarify that the way this is written, that exists, correct?
Support staff is exactly how it's written, it's support
Support
staff.
staff, and that
We
the
have control.
district administrator and the building principal can in fact review it, and if it's not working, they can revoke it
At any time.
at any time.
Dr. White, can you confirm? I believe that's what it says.
Yeah.
It says if the arrangement for shared time is determined to be unsatisfactory. So if it's unsatisfactory, it is.
And there's also, I believe, language in what he's looking at in his hand about if the person that asked for the job share, if one of the two of them decide it's not working for them, then it needs like 80-20 or whatever the percentages is. Say the 20% person said, this is not what I want to do in my life. They drop it, and then it goes back to the original.
Yeah, the full
Staff.
line, the full line reads, agree to return to full-time status if one of the participants in a shared job is non-renewed, discharged, resigns, or is laid off, or does not wish to continue in the job share, or if the arrangement for shared time is determined to be unsatisfactory. So it gives us lots of outs if things just aren't working.
Okay.
So I think it covers any concerns that I could see about the job share.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like we're protected, yeah.
So I value your opinion too.
Now what about?
I'm still seeing both sides of it, and I have concerns that this is a one-person policy,
Yeah,
that it's a one
that's
moment
true.
in time policy, and it makes it, and it can be challenging when you are familiar with staff members and then you have to change direction on their behalf because something's not satisfactory. It makes it hard.
So,
There's my fence.
well, and I think that I agreed with him in our meeting on that point, you know, if it's a general policy for everyone, or if it's just because one particular employee has asked for it this year, why, you know. So I guess I can't tell you how I'm going to vote when we go to vote either.
That is a very valid point.
Yeah.
But a lot of things start with the idea of one person, and then other people hear about it and like, oh, I didn't even think about that. You know, so.
Which is also part of my fear.
Right. But.
How big is the snowball?
As big as the district decides it to be. Yeah. That's the thing, is that we hold control over how large that snowball becomes.
Yeah. And I do think we need to, not that you're not, but we have to trust the judgment of the leadership in the buildings to certainly elevate it to us if what has happened has become Pandora's box, that we change it.
I also agree with that.
A lot of good points on both sides.
With a recommendation to you.
All right, I'm ready to vote.
Anybody else have any questions, comments?
I'm going to add into this policy then that the administrative decision is not appealable to the board. If we deny the job share, it's not coming here to make you guys have to be are you comfortable with that, or you feel like?
Would you repeat what you just said?
Because we're basically saying that, two people come with a request of a job share, and the building principal and the district administrator agree that that's not doable or not a good situation, and we say no. Now are they going to come to the board to appeal that and make the ultimate decision? Right. So I would like to write in the policy that the decision of the building administrators on a job share is not appealable to the board.
I would support that.
I would support that.
Yeah. Like you said, we got to put our trust in the leadership in the building.
Yep.
They know best how the school is being run.
Right.
You know, we set policy. We don't run the day-to-day operations.
Correct.
All right. Is there any other?
All right. I move to.
Well,
it's already been moved.
It's already been moved.
It's already been moved in a second.
So, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, we just have left to vote yes or no, right?
Yeah.
Are we going to amend the motion to include that language? That it's not
If
appealable?
someone wants to amend the motion.
Friendly amendment to include the suggested language by Dr. White that the board does not have an appeal layer from a request or of that nature.
Second to your friendly amendment.
You accept. Who seconded you, Mark?
Yeah,
Do you accept the friendly amendment?
Well, anyone can second the amendment, but now we have a discussion on the amendment if there's anything we want to discuss.
A friendly amendment does not need a vote.
Was that?
Friendly amendment does not need a vote.
Okay. I did not know that. Is it a friendly amendment?
As long as the mover and the seconder accept the friendly amendment.
Do you accept them?
I
both?
accept the friendly amendment.
Okay.
Okay. Well, then, the amendment has been passed, so now we have a motion with the amendment before us. Any further discussion on the full motion with the amendment? Hearing none, we'll vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Nay. Sorry.
Still passes.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, and then we can move on to other employee revisions for approval. Dr. White, do you want to go over those?
Yeah,
or do you want me to
just a second to get organized too.
Yeah, take your time.
I'm sorry.
No.
Okay. We are looking to make some changes to the 25-26 handbook in addition to the one that was just approved. One, we're moving the supplemental pay section from Part 1 to Part 3. That supplemental pay section, actually to Part 2, is only applicable to certified staff. So we want that to be applicable just to them, so we move from Part 1 to Part 2. We're also going to edit a section in stipend for PI courses to teach in UW System College credit courses and or Gateway transcripted credit courses. Right now it says just UW Whitewater, and we're starting to get teachers certified to teach those courses from other universities throughout the state, and so it just benefits our kids to do that. Then we're going to add Part 3, Section 29, titled Extra Duties. That is for support staff, and it covers how extra duties will be paid for support staff. Let me get there so I can read it to you specifically. If support staff is assigned to a lunch duty or assigned to supervise students immediately after school, they will be compensated in accordance with their hourly rate and in compliance with the pay rate for overtime if applicable. When we start trying to mix, a lunchroom supervision rate with the support staff member's hourly rate, it gets really complex to, and there's too many chances for error. So it's just more appropriate to say you worked 40 hours, we're going to pay you 40 hours times your hourly rate that was approved. So that's what we're going to add there. And then the lunch period is the next section that's being changed. Previously, it said that their lunches are duty-free and they're not permitted to work over their lunch period. We've had support staff working during their lunch period, either to supervise students because it's necessary through the IEP, or voluntary giving up their lunch to do supervision and earn extra money, which is okay, and I approve that as long as we don't go into overtime typically. So that we've added that language that they will be provided the 30-minute duty-free unpaid lunch if they work at least 6 hours per day, and the supervisor will schedule that lunch period, and then there's 2 instances where they would not get a lunch period. And then we added a section on breaks. It was getting to the point, the 2 15-minute breaks that were paid really harken back to pre-Act 10. When you look at the Department of Workforce and Development language, we're not required to provide unpaid 15-minute breaks. We will continue to try to do so, but again, there's just certain times when the needs of the kids dictate that that's just not able to be provided, and ultimately the needs of the kids are going to supersede those 15-minute breaks. So we just added some language there to clarify when and how those may be given or not given. And then we added a stipend in Appendix D for the assistant golf coach, which we had added last year. And then Jennifer needed to add a section that was called compensation while on workers' comp. When somebody is on workers' comp, how are they paid? And we provided that language for you too, to show you how that is being done.
All right, I'll entertain a motion for all of those revisions.
I move to approve the revised 2025-2026 employee handbook as presented.
Second.
All right, any discussion on any of that?
These will be presented, so this handbook's already been distributed, correct? So
yeah, so they'll be redistributed. And through my staff bulletin, we've shared all those changes out there with them.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? All right. We're going to have a discussion on Dr. White's annual performance evaluation and set a date for closed session meeting.
And that would be November 10th at 6:30.
Yes.
It's the next board meeting. So.
Yes. So we're going to have a closed session there where we can discuss Dr. White's performance evaluation. That's just the first step in that evaluation. We'll assess and discuss and then have the final presentation to Dr. White on his evaluation in January, just so everyone's clear on the process. So the November bit is kind of a self-evaluation where he presents to us for his performance over this past year. Any questions, comments? All right. So we need to have a motion to set the official date or not? Or
we don't need to do that.
Okay, so this isn't really an action item.
That was supposed to be pulled out anyway, but because we can set and add things in, add to closed session when we need to. It'll be posted properly.
Okay. One thing we do need to do, though, is approve the date for the Saturday work session. And so we are looking at
December 6th.
6th or 13th.
Correct. And I believe the preference was for the 6th. Is that the day after the?
What did you say about the 6th?
December 6th, work session.
Versus the 13th?
Correct.
Yeah.
I would definitely prefer the 6th.
Yeah, either one works for me.
Yeah, both work for me.
either the more.
As far as I can tell, they both work for me, too.
Let's do the 6th then.
Just making
Check with your
sure.
scheduler.
That's right. Lauren Duck.
Car-
I know, I'm just double checking that. What's on here is accurate.
If we can, I'd like to do
Carolyn,
the
both
December
work for you,
6th is
or-
the best date.
Either one would work for me.
Okay. And
I move.
you said 6th is better for?
Yeah,
you
6th
guys?
is definitely
Okay.
better for me.
Okay.
I move to set the next Saturday board work session for Saturday, December 6th, 2025, from 8 a.m. until 11 a.m.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion on that date? All right, let's vote. All for it?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so we're working on the 6th. Discussion item would be the technology coordinator position.
Okay, so Mrs. Bixler, Gail, has shared with us that this is her last year working in the school district. She's planning to retire. After multiple discussions with Gail, with the administrators, we know that we need to maintain that position. Gail does just a ton of things related to technology, making sure everything's working on a daily basis for the kids and for the staff. She sets up all the Chromebooks during the summer. She does our testing coordinating. She does all the filtering. And that's just one or three of probably 100 things that she does. So what I'm going to be recommending to the board at some point is that we fill Gail's position not in June, or not to start in June when Gail finishes, but hopefully to start at the latest March 1st. We need that person to overlap with Gail so she can teach them the ins and outs of that position. Otherwise, we have no one here to train that person and really get them up to speed on all the different things that she does. So by hiring that person to start in March, which is what I'd like to do, that will really make sure that they're able to, do the duties of the job once Gail's gone, and won't have to be bugging her or won't have to be freaking out because they don't know what they're doing. So, again, I will bring a motion to the board to approve hiring that position, most likely March 1st, but I just wanted to put that out there tonight and see if you had any questions or concerns.
So the question I have is the budget that we just voted yes on includes money for March 1st through June, whatever.
It does, because we've been talking about this at the administrative level, so I had Jen build that
Well, I
into the
know
budget.
when Jennifer was reading everything off, I didn't hear out loud that one, but it's written on my piece of paper.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't put it in that report because it hasn't been approved by the board, so we didn't want it, but the money is built into that.
Okay.
3 months of the salary and benefits.
Right.
I agree, that's a good
Yeah,
plan,
that makes sense,
I mean,
yeah.
it's worth paying 3 months of salary so that they're up and running, as soon as Gail retires, we're in place and there's no lapse in any of the technology.
We are certainly setting that new person up for failure if we don't do it that way, and ultimately we're setting up our staff and students for failure. So it just really needs to happen, I think. So I'll put a motion out there probably for the December meeting for you guys to approve hiring that person in March.
Okay. Any other discussion on that topic?
No, it'd be fine.
No.
All right, thank you. With that, we have public comments. If anyone wants to step up and talk to the board? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, thank you, everybody. Have
Thank
a
you, everybody.
safe night.
Sorry, I think I might have.
Have a good night.
Thank you.